Now we are going to start again current affairs. So environment. So Kajiranga National Park. Its Assam government is awaiting the central clearance for an elevated road over 9 corridor used by the animal of Kajiranga National Park and Tiger Reserve. This 35-kilometer elevated road will run along an existing artificial highway. Kajiranga project is one which is essential 1.5 kilometer and 600 meter. It's a national park, Golaghat and Naga district, Assam sanctuary, and two-thirds of what great one-horned rhinoceros and World Heritage Site. Kajiranga recognized important birds area also and wild water buffalo also. Now, Indravati Tiger Reserve is for the first time a large area of Indravati Tiger Reserve. Its Maoist affected area. Tiger Reserve is located at Bijapur district, Chhattisgarh, and perennial river Indravati for boundary of reserve on the northern and western sides. It's a project Tiger Chhattisgarh along the Udanti Sitandi. Its Indravati attained status National Park 1981. Vegetation is mainly tropical, moist and dry deciduous. Most common tree is teak, salai, mahua, tendu, gor, bison, nilgai, chosinga, cheetal, Indian spotted, wild boar, tiger, leopard. Okay. Now, Fimbristil sonili neo prabui. It's a researcher new plant species. Okay, and Wayanad district, Kerala. So collected from grassland of Munmudi Hills, Thiruvananthapuram. Name the plant taxonomist Sunil. Perennial plant cyberpeas family. Okay, it's normally. Chilika Lake is the million of birds, including the uncommon Mongolian gull, visiting the water body. Chilika, it's in Odisha. Water is cultivated field adjoining area. Birds loves to flock to the large mud flat. Chilika is Asia's largest and world's second largest lagoon. Asia's largest and world's second largest and largest wintering ground migratory birds Indian subcontinent and home to the number of threatened species also. Chilika designed to first Indian wetland international importance Ramsars and the dolphin is there and Nalabanda Iceland is lagoon and Kaliji temple is there and Caspian Sea, Lake Baikal, Aral Sea, remote parts of Russia, Mongolia and Central Asia. Species in the news is Gharial. So Assam government has issued notification make Orang National Park more than thrice. So it's a Gharial are types of Asian crocodile. Crocodile are group of reptile including the crocodile, alligator and Gharial IUCN red list critically endangered. Magar is vulnerable and saltwater crocodile is concerned. So it's appendix 1 and saltwater crocodile. Population Australia, Indonesia, Papua New Guinea. Habitat include freshwater, northern India, Chambal River and Gagra, Gandak and Son. Gharial good indicator of clean river water. Conservation breeding center is Kukrail. Gharial Rehabilitation Center, Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh National Chambal Sanctuary. It's in Assam, Orang, and it's Orang riverine landscape, Kajiranga. Recognized tiger reserves and mini Kajiranga also variety of fish, flora and fauna and Kajiranga, Manas, Namiri, Dibu, Sequoia Raimona and Dehing Patkai is there. Global Risk Report is World Economic Forum. So reports the global risk and expect a world's leader in the business, government and civil society. Examine the risk category of economic, environmental, geopolitical, societal, technological. Words enter the COVID-19 pandemic, climate crisis, biggest long-term facing humanity. So climate action failure and developing economy will have fallen 5.5%. So it's a global risk report, fostering effective energy transition, global social mobility report, global gender gap report. Okay, so risk report, effective energy transition report, global social mobility reports, and global gender gap report. Risk, global gender gap report, mobility report, and effective energy transition report. It's all about world economic forum. Eastern swamp deer. It's vulnerable to eastern swamp deer. Kajiranga National Park and eastern swamp deer is Kajiranga, and problems are ecological health and Orang National Park and Laukoa and Bura Chapori Wildlife Sanctuary. So the western swamp deer found in Nepal and southern swamp deer are at ground Barasingha found in central and north India. Eastern swamp deer is found Kajiranga and Dudhwa National Park. Protection of IUCN list vulnerable Appendix 1 and Wildlife Protection Act 1972 Schedule 1. Vulnerable Schedule 1 Appendix 1. Living Root Bridge of Meghalaya. Geological Survey of India underlines some green rules for the Living Roots Bridge of Meghalaya. So UNESCO World Heritage Site, a living root bridge is like a suspension bridge form guiding the roots of rubber roots to grow and strengthen over time. So no records to suggest Khasi community roots bridge region. Ecologists highlight the symbiotic relationship between people and nature. UNESCO World Heritage Site Living Root Bridge of Meghalaya. So it's a World Heritage program and seek to encourage the identification, protection, preservation of cultural natural heritage and conservation protection of world cultural natural heritage. UNESCO. Now Kerala Bird Atlas. It's a first of kind atlas has created so baseline data about the distribution and abundance bird species. So it's a prepared based on systematic survey of 60 days during the wet and dry season. And Asia's largest bird atlas in terms of geological extent, it was found species count have higher during the dry season, wet season species richness, evenness higher in the northern and central. Okay. Now, Ganoderma. Ganoderma is the Kerala has identified new species of fungi and genus Ganoderma. So it's a two fungi species, Ganoderma and G. pseudoplantum. Okay, such a Ganoderma and Anabaroga. It's like fungi in the stage flowering nuts set decrease and final to coconut palm dice like Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency IREDA. It's a cabinet committee on economic affairs infusion of 1500 crore in the IREDA. So the equity infusion will help in employment generation, CO2 reduction. Okay, and it will enhance non-banking financial agency net worth and will help additional finance IREDA public limited government's company non-banking financial institution. It's engaged in promoting developing financial assistance projects relating to new renewable sources and IREDA being rewarded the Mini Ratna and Ministry of New and Renewable Energy and its motto is Energy Forever. Is offer a credit enhancement guarantee scheme to support the boards by wind and solar energy. To COP26 Glasgow is the aim achieving net zero emission committed to achieving 500 gigawatt installed capacity by 2030 and 392 gigawatt constituting coal and renewable. Environment impact assessment is a recent released report is related to submission incorrect incomplete information scientific accuracy and public hearing of discuss the reports matter is Niti Aayog has piloted Great Nicobar that includes the construction of mega port and township. So it's a impact evaluating the likely environment impact and project statutory backed environment impact protection act. It's a environment impact assessment has centralized environment clearance project. So it's category A and B. Category A is require mandatory environment clearance and category B is undergo screening also. Okay, Peru declared as an environment emergency. So Peruvian government declared 90 environment emergency coastal territory. So it's defined the sudden onset of disaster, accident, natural and technological human induced factor. Combination of these cause the threaten to the severe environmental damage. Okay, UNEP is also facing the emergency and an oil spill released to the liquid petroleum hydrogen into the environment that affected the humans and term usually oil spill is released into ocean. So Peru's country, Western South America, is mega diverse country. So essential tropical country and cold Peru current is flow along the Pacific shoreline. Naja Afgar Jheel wetland. It's a national green tribunal directed Delhi, Haryana to enforce environment management plan, preparedness of rejuvenation of Naja Afgar Jheel. So NGT implementation action plan monitored the wetland authority. Such Union Environment Ministry committee prepared the Transboundary Najafgarh Jheel Management Committee. According to plan, Najafgarh Jheel is influenced by wetland Act on wetland is transition land between the terrestrial aquatic ecosystem. Water table usually or near surface may be land covered shallow water. So important wetland supports the rich biodiversity and provide wide range of ecosystem. Water storage, purification, flood mitigation, erosion control. In India, 115 wetland officially identifies central government and the Ramsar list international importance under the Ramsar Convention Act aim to develop and maintain international network wetland which important to conservation of global biological diversity and maintenance of ecosystem. Najafgarh is led the Sahibi River in Delhi and presence of 281 bird species, Egyptian vulture, Saras crane, eagle. Lake is largely filled the Gurugram surrounded by Delhi. So it is the statutory body 2010 National Green Tribunal specialized judicial body is expertise solely to purpose of adjudication environment. Chairman NGT is the Supreme Court judge and it shall be bound to the procedure laid down the Union Code of Civil Procedure, principle of natural justice, tribunal order finding and it has power to grant relief in the form of compensation damage to affected person. It's binding, okay, and it's procedure laid down under the Code of Civil Procedure. So this was about environment. Now geography. Deendayal Port crossed the 100 million marks. Deendayal Port is a seaport town, Kutch district, Gujarat, an inlet of Arabian Sea along the west coast of India. State of Gujarat divides Kutch, Kathiawar Peninsula, and Rukmavati River. Great Run of Kutch is located north of Gulf. Note extreme daily tides, thus making its region highest potential for tidal energy. Refer to the Peri plus Eritrean Sea and 4 major coral reefs are there. Garden which set up near Midnapur, Kutch, and bleach coral likely to have reduced growth rate, decrease the productivity capacity, sustain disease, elevated mortality. So community, but they also impact fish community, human community, deepen the coral reef and associated fishery livelihood and well-being. Coral colony provides a source of food and shelter for countless reef-associated organisms and health for critical importance in ecology and reef community. Dugong is also called the sea cow. An issue is extraction of coral and sand by cement industry increase the turbidity of water. Catrol Hill Fault. It's according to the recent study, major earthquake events here for resulted spectator change in the landscape. Catrol Hill, its Kutch region, Gujarat. Real-time monitoring of earthquake indicate that most of the fault region is seismically active. So its length of surface produced by the large magnitude of earthquake. It also shows that its credible seismic source capable of generating surface rupture hazard and Kutch basin. Earthquake is natural events of shaking the earth and it's cause the release of energy, generate wave, travel in all direction, location, earth surface, earthquake start called the hypocenter and location directly above surface is called the epicenter. So seismicity of Kutch region is highly complex, characterized by multiple seismic sources and several east-west trending fault line constituently accumulating tectonic stress. Hunga Tonga Hunga volcano. It's a volcano eruption followed by flooded part of capital Nuku'alofa. So there is no information on property damage or casualty till. So eruption of Hunga Tonga. Hunga is the shock is across the South Pacific. Volcano is opening the earth crust, and which case molten rocks, material, ash, steam. Volcanic activity, endogenic process depending upon the explosive nature of volcano. Indonesia capital due to rising sea level. Indonesia parliament has passed a law approving the relocation of its capital from sinking Jakarta to 2000 km Borneo Nusantara. So it's a pass due to rising sea level. So it's increased the level of world's ocean due to effect of climate change and global warming, and induced primary factor thermal expansion, melting glacier, loss of Greenland. So sea level primarily measure tide station satellites and global sea level rising over past century. Now it's all about geography. Now we are going to discuss about culture. Birth anniversary of Rani Vellu Nachiyar. It's a first queen of British colonial power, known Tamil Veeramangi. So Princess of Ramanathapuram, Raja Chelathumu. So trained war match weapon uses. Married King Siva Gangai with whom daughter when husband. So it's like Rani Vellu Nachiyar was the first queen to fight the freedom from the British in India and granted powers to Merudu brother. Okay, and its agreement reached Rani Vellu Nachiyar permitted to govern the Sivaganga country, Chinna Murudu and elder Vellai Murudu. Thus, widow Queen Vellu Nachiyar succeeded his husband. Nai Talim is the Vice President of India. Nai Talim Mahatma Gandhi by giving importance to mother tongue. So Nai Talim also knows the Bunyadi Shiksha and basic education, and emphasis making the mother tongue as the medium of instructions and essential mass education approach. So usual work expect to create national system of education, and Nai Talim in well formulated approach to education. Prakash Purv Shri Guru Govind Singh Ji. There's a Guru Govind Singh Ji Jayanti. So Prakash Parva is the Sukh Guru of Govind Ji. It's birth anniversary of Guru Govind Singh. So it's a spiritual leader, warrior and poet, philosopher. He formally became the leader or protector of Sikh. Age of 19 and Guru Tegh Bahadur, 9 Sikh Guru killed the Aurangzeb. So Guru Govind Ji led the Sikh community through teaching philosophy, historical importance, irresponsible Khalsa, who played a significant role protecting Sikh. Guru Govind Singh Ji is the Guru Granth Sahib and Sikkim holy scripture. So Guru Govind Singh Ji was a great warrior, and towards the poetry and philosophy writing stood under his guidance, and he adhered to strict code writing, philosophy and Jayanti Sikh Gurudwara. Bhimbetka Cave. It's a two-horned Sumatra rhino was recently discovered. Madhya Pradesh. It was drawn red pigment. One of the cave Bhimbetka. It suggests the human migration. So the Bhimbetka rock shelter ecological MP span of prehistoric exists the earlier trace of human life, and UNESCO World Heritage Site discovery of Bhimbetka was the Vakankar, popular for its prehistoric cave, red and white and smallest in rhino, like a white rhino, greater one-horned rhino. It's all about that Bhimbetka. 10th century stone idol of goat head Yogini. So it's a goat head Yogini on Lokhari village in Uttar Pradesh. Sculpture of goat-headed Yogini is there. Okay, and Buffalo village, Embassy of India, Paris, associated tantric mode of worship. Now Kathak dance, Pandit Birju Maharaj. Lucknow Kathak dance was artist be awarded Sangeet Natak Akademi, National Film Award, Padma Vibhushan also. Original Kathak tradition attributed to but ancient northern India. So recognized UNESCO under intangible cultural heritage also. Vaishnavite cult is that follower, and it's like Hindu Muslim unity is also in that. It's a classical dance. And story Kathakar to what the stories. Guru Ravidas's election commission a week ago. It's Guru Ravidas Jayanti 16 February. So Ravidas called the Raidas, poet saint in North India. Ravidasiya, new holy book, and born in the Varanasi into untouchable and leather working chamber. Along with he was the most noted disciple of Bhagat Ramananda and imagine egalitarian society and came to know Ravidas Panthi. Okay, Somna Temple is a prime minister new circuit. It's a Somnath temple, also called the Somnatha temple. It is one of the most sacred pilgrimage of Hindu and Jyotirlinga of Shiva. 125th anniversary of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. It's the statue of granite shall be a fitting tribute to the immense contribution of Netaji freedom struggle, symbol of country independence. The Tilwak statue is completed. A hologram statue Netaji will be presented. Twice elected president of Indian National Congress and participated in Sal Satyagraha, vehemently opposed the suppression of civil disobedience movement, Gandhi-Irwin Pact. Owing to the political differences, he resigned from Congress presidency in 1939, and All India Forward Bloc stood the qualified Swaraj and opposed the Motilal Nehru report. And Bose organized mass protest and was arrested. He was later put under the house arrest from the skip. So organized the youth and promoted the trade union movement. So leader of Azad Hind government, head of the state provision Indian government exile. Bose considered struggle was only way to achieve the independence for India. Sir Subhash Chandra Bose was gone to Germany, worked for his Indian independence, and led Indian Independence League rebuild the Indian National Army to make it effective instrument freedom of India. Netaji went to Andaman and occupied Japanese hoist part of that. Now Azad Hind Fauj slogan of Delhi Chalo. Netaji together religion and all religion. So it's a woman. Azad Hind Fauj, which was under the command of Captain Lakshmi Swaminathan and Rani Jhansi ki Bai. Okay, it's a Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Ross Island and Andaman Nicobar Island Bose is among the most misunderstood icon. Now Kathakali dance. It's a PM condole demise of noted Kathakali dancer Milena Salvini. So it's a Kathakali blend of dance, music, acting, drama, and one of the 8 classical dance. It's a stylish form of 4 Angika, Ahara, Vachika, Satvika, Nitya. Express the codified facial expression. Kathakali is Balram Bharatam. Hastakatha, Deepika. Kathakali symbolized like Kerala, the face of Kathakali dancer, and only male dancer. However, the last few like women's also involved in that. A part of Bhakti movement and well-trained martial art. Kallari troops are follower of footsteps. Implemented the part of the training and its message to feet. Practice is believed major reason of women, and Aharya is makeup suited to the character of Krishna and a special peacock feature, and Todayam is the devotional number of performs, and Sopana Sangeet is also there. So costume is facial expression, music, rituals, all that are performed there. So now this was all about the science